Hi guys! So before it starts raining, we want to take the opportunity and film this and showing you how we do the reset here, what we need to consider here. So first of all, it looks really lush at the moment. We had really good rains. Everything is cracking, but you can see there's certain things that are starting to go into senescence now. We need to come up with an intervention and set each one on the right strata and take plants out that are in decline. Yeah, this is a row we installed in a food forest course 2 years ago. So if you remember, Aaron, Emma and Charlotte and Ralph, you would have been here when we planted these lucmas into it together with the brush bottle. Yeah, so 2 years old. Yeah, that's how it looks like. An amazing buildup of organic matter in here. So we have taken carbon out of the air and sculptured this with it. You could say it's almost like a 3D printing, isn't it? And yeah, so it's amazing, the growth, and that's why we like the brush bottle. We love the brush bottle because it can perform miracles in the first 2 years on pretty bad soils even. So that's why we love it. But see, it's the first time now it makes seeds. We could have decided on taking that out already, and so the whole seed issue is not even there. Yeah, so you only need 2 years of a brush bottle, and it has a tremendous effect on the whole consortium. It's such a winner. So we have here the ground layer of comfrey. I just cut into that the other day already, and we have a certain tension in here because there are some plants that are emerging that don't get enough sun now. So for instance, this sugarcane here, even though it's right on the edge, it doesn't get enough sun because of this brush bottle here, and it needs to be an emergent. Yeah, and then you see they start picking up diseases, fungal diseases and so on. So we need to keep an eye open for that. That's how we understand what plants need. And this brush bottle is now starting to make mature seeds. We should have cut that back in early spring when it was just finished flowering or so. So now we set the branches back, and even if we lose the brush bottle now, that would not be a problem. And in fact, if we had even more density in here, we could say now, okay, let's take it out before it becomes too much work. It would actually be a good point to take it out right now. So this is now 2.5 years old. Yeah, it's pretty good for a tree that you can climb and swing around in just 2.5 years. It's pretty amazing. Even if it's for firewood, there's a lot in it. And don't forget, they're also fixing nitrogen, and they are fantastic fodder. So as we prune them up and reduce the crown, we have already fed goats with that. But most important for us is the tree as a nurse crop for our lucuma. So these lucmas are really shooting off because they're on alluvial soil here, which we notice makes a big difference for them. Some trees don't mind it, but these guys certainly appreciate it. And here's a tamarillo that didn't do it that well. And then here is another artichoke that had finished. And here we have a poplar that we planted a bit later than the rest of that consortium. Yeah, it went in a year later because we had some sticks left and we felt we need something else in here for when the brush bottle finishes. But it is not very happy right now because it's under the shade of the brush bottle. It needs to be emergent. So as we reduce the brush bottle or even take it out now, this will take up very quick. Yeah, and then here, see, we have a sugar cane again in a little window. We have a bit of a window between that already fairly old Louisa plum, which is adjacent vegetation. We got the Titonia here, which is an emergent, but we need to set it back so that this emergent sugarcane doesn't get shaded so much. Okay, so just to summarize what we are gonna do with this intervention here now. We need to really reduce this emergent canopy of the brush bottle. We don't take it out yet. There's good protection from it still, but we need to really reduce it, and if it dies, so be it. but we really have to go into that because it's too dominant, and we rather have the poplar, which we are planning on for longer as an emergent, have that coming through. Yeah, and that meanwhile we still get another year or so out of our sugarcane. Eventually that will go. Yeah, so at the moment we need to focus on taking out senescence, the old artichokes, the old cardoons need to come out, Titonia needs to be reduced, brush wattle needs to be reduced, and then we pause and see what's next. So now Frida and I, we're going to do an intervention here. So guys, if you have been on the installation of that and you can't be here right now, so be part of it now. We're going to do it for you here.
So why do you want to leave the cardoons cut?
Oh, well, you know, it's always this discussion. When do you want to leave flowers for the flowers and pollinators, and when do you want to set back senescence? So considering that it's at the end of the bed and there's just our driveway, it's already a bit more of a lesser influence, and also that's where the aesthetics come in most, because we come through the gate here and we see that, and the bumblebees and the butterflies, and maybe we even then harvest seeds from it, who knows. So all of that considered, let's tolerate some senescence. Yo, so we just finished the intervention. So what Frida did up there is she did empty the crown out, so we get diffuse sunlight for summer coming through without suddenly getting these plants in a shock. We're just 1 week off solstice, so let's not prune if we don't have to. So in this case we don't want to kill this brush bottle yet. Maybe we do in winter, let's see. But then in winter it will give us a bit of a frost cover again, so maybe in spring. All right, and we left these branches foot long sticking out because for brush wattle that's the way for it to make new branches. It's peculiar, but suddenly you have this thick layer of cambium forming up on the top with whips coming out right here, and the rest of the branch just dies off. It's pretty crazy. So I've never seen it with any other tree but brush wattles. And so you can cut most of the foliage off, but you leave these, and usually they recover just out of those tips here. So when we prune these trees, our tools of choice are these little saws that we carry in our pouch because they're foldable, which is nice. Or as you have seen me doing with the machete, yeah, that's the fastest. That's why we use machetes, because you don't have to change tools. It's the one tool for so many things. It means you don't have to change tools. That takes time. And it is a precise thing. You can have a precise shortcut or a long heavy cut. And we don't use loppers, for instance. I know a lot of people here in New Zealand, they love using loppers. That's often the only tool they carry with them into an orchard. And not that we don't have them, but we don't even know where they are because we never use them. We are not looking for them. We don't appreciate them as a tool. We use saws, electric chainsaws, hand saws, or machete. That's the fastest for us, but for you it might be different. But if you feel like it, get into machetes. It is by far the fastest tool. And as much as we all love gardening and we want to spend more time gardening, but at the same time you want to be fast and efficient and fun at the same time, time is usually always the limit. So using a machete speeds things up. So that's why we like them. And they have to have a good holder, come out easy, go in easy. You might want to use a machete up on the tree. You don't want to carry machete around with you. You could fall in it. So for all these reasons, get or ideally make yourself a nice sheet. We have done them with bamboo as well, but I prefer leather. But it has to be made the right way, so you don't have to force it in, or when you pull it out with one hand and it doesn't want to come out, you know, it has to be like a, you know, lucky luck, you know. And at the same time not fall out when you run around with it. But we wanted a bit of an umbrella for summer, so we left it like that. Yeah, now the poplar has a window here to go up, and it will do that. You know, they're pretty quick. They're almost as quick as brush wattle, so it will take that opportunity and go through. You might get another crop out of the artichoke, and the sugarcane will pull through and become healthy. And the Titonia, by end of tomorrow, it will already start coming off again. So here we go. That's how we keep pumping it. So that's the pulsing. So we set everything back drastically. You wouldn't want the landscaper to do something as drastic as that, but this is the production system. And now it pulses back with a new burst of life. We have moisture, we got long days, and we got fairly high temperature. So at the moment it will just shoot back up in just a bit lower than speed of light. So that's always so exciting, seeing that coming back. And then if you see over there, we got a few things out to eat and a bit of tucker for the goats. So that's how we do it.